This video features high-end, limited edition collectibles and is intended for adult collectors.
Edit that. I will not be canceled. But yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
So, we are officially here at the 2021 Integrity Toys Convention, the Obsession Convention, and for the second time, the second year in a row, this is a 100% virtual convention for Integrity Toys. We have covered many of the previous conventions at this point on our channel, so if you want a quick rundown on what it's all about, what you need to know, if you want to join the W Club in future years, or how you can get a shot at, attending this exclusive convention, links will be in the description below. But we're gonna jump right into this year's convention, which once again, the theme is obsession. I think when that was revealed, it was a very ambiguous, vague concept.
Very open-ended theme. But they did give clarification on what the theme is during the actual sign-up period.
Yeah, so essentially obsession is basically about exploring our own obsessions of different things, like things you can be passionate about, whether it's fashion, couture, makeup, just everything connected into the world of beauty, although they ventured a little ways outside the world of beauty, which we'll get to that. And something else really important to mention about this convention is that because once again, everything is virtual, this year is also condensed compared to prior years, so it's only a 2-day convention. Last year was 3 days.
Carol and Alon gave kind of explanation about that. They got feedback from last year that the convention was running way too long, because in the past, in-person conventions were 3 days with meals and activities to do. They kept that 3-day format last year, and it felt like there was a lot of free time in between events. So they condensed it down to 2 days. They cut out one event to streamline things, to make it a little quicker for collectors who, are busy, just want to see the dolls.
So fewer days and condensed convention also means, there's fewer dolls. And our coverage is this year for the event is pretty much going to mirror last year. We're just going to have an overview of the webinars, and once again, they made very, 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 very clear that we cannot share any screenshots, photos, video footage, nothing of the web presentations themselves. So you guys will not be seeing any of that here, but we are going to be sharing, the photos of the dolls at this point, all of which have been emailed and shared to members of the W Club, and they're all over, Instagram and socials and the forums at this point. So folks are able to share their thoughts, and we're going to share our thoughts, of course. So this is going to be like first impressions of all the dolls.
So they use the same format as last year, so it's a website server that they use, and it has a really nice launch page and different pages of, you can check out the presentations, you can check out the dolls. There's different activities there, like look at the contest photos. So it's the same format. Surprisingly, it looks like the presentations are live this year. I think that's the big change they made. I think they made it live. We only seen one presentation so far. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks live.
Yeah, that was an issue last year.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's essentially, it's a virtual convention hall. So there's, you kind of click on the auditorium, exhibit hall, stuff like that to kind of view the different virtual events. And so there are 1,300 attendees for this year's convention, which is the largest ever. It was a really big deal in, technically I guess it was 2 years ago when they had the 700. When
that wasn't a mistake.
The Life and Fashion Week, and that was like a mistake, and then it kind of shrunk back down, the subsequent year. Obviously, if you watched our recent review of the 2021 upgrade dolls, the W Club has just exploded the past year, so it's grown very large.
Carol said this was a special circumstance for this year, this attendee size. So it might not happen again. So, they try to be as much accommodating as possible in that regard. But it is a substantial larger amount than last year. So hopefully a lot more collectors are able to attend. Because of such a large attendee size, there were some adjustment that had to be made. We are getting fewer dolls in the convention collection, as well as the sales room exclusives and Style Lab. So there's fewer dolls, but each doll has an edition size of 1,300. So that was nice. There's no fighting. If you're attending, you get access to every doll except for one, which we will talk about later.
So the price of admission for this year, for the convention admission, is $525, and essentially that payment will get you in total 3 souvenir dolls, 3 events, and there is another event. There's the W Club event, but that's not exclusive to convention attendees.
That's separate.
Yeah,
so
separate.
We're just talking about main convention gets you 3 events: the welcome presentation, the Poppy Parker luncheon / event, and then the final gala.
Yes, and so in this first video, by the way, because obviously it's 2 days, we're going to do 2 different videos, day 1 and day 2. And day 1, it's going to be encompassing in total is the welcome event and the W Club event, which once again was new face focused.
Yes.
So yeah, purchasing the tickets, I don't remember if we've already talked about it a bit.
I think it was very hush-hush.
We couldn't really go into it at the time, but 500 tickets were available. They split up the tickets where 500 were available through a Google form, and then the rest were lottery, and that was after voted.
So basically they did the lottery first to get that out of the way. So there was 800 lottery tickets, which we both entered, and we did not get. It was mayhem, and it was really disheartening not getting into the convention, considering 800 was pretty much last year's. Well, last year was 600. Disheartening that we weren't able to get in, but luckily Max and I have trigger finger happiness. They made us wait a whole week with disappointment, oh god, we didn't get in, and there's a second shot at getting in via the Google Forms, which is just 500 tickets. So they made us wait a whole week before we can try that one. And that's how we were able to get our tickets, is we managed to able to fill out the form. It was a first come, first serve for that one.
So yeah, the W Club New Face event is a separate special offer that any member of the W Club is eligible to purchase a ticket for that. So even if you don't get a full main convention package, you can still purchase a ticket to the W Club event, which I think that's cool. I think that's cool that they're kind of continuing to offer that option.
Some people call it the consolation ticket. So if you weren't able to get in the main convention,
and you never know, because a few years ago in Lux Life, the W Club luncheon had the biggest Grail dolls of the entire con. Yeah. So you never know.
You never know. Yeah, so that's kind of an additional something they did for the W Club. And then the second thing, I know in previous years they had an upgrade package. So there's usually an additional doll or 2. Last year was 2 dolls. It was Adele and Veronique. Le Petit.
Jus?
Yeah.
Petite robe classique.
Oui, Jus. It's Jus and oui.
Oui.
Yeah,
so
the other one.
So last year they had dolls, and previous year they had dolls that you can purchase in addition to your tickets. But this year they did something different. I don't think they necessarily called it an upgrade package, but they did offer a special luggage set that any W Club member could pre-order and purchase.
And I was about it. It's so cute.
It's very cute.
Adorable. It would pair beautifully with Poppy. Yeah, it has just a super cute white florals. It was pricey for an accessory set. Expensive. It was very expensive for an accessory set.
It looks very nice, but yeah, you are playing luxe pricing on these accessories.
As we've discussed, Integrity Toys has been transparent that prices are raising because of the back end, manufacturing and distribution.
So we should talk about some of the hiccups that happened dealing with the convention this year. One of the major things was a lot of collectors had an issue with the fact that the admission ticket was $525, which was roughly around the price of last year's convention, which I think was $575. So for $50 less, you're missing out on an additional doll and an additional event.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about last year that there's quite a bit more you're missing out on not getting the in-person experience. Obviously, Integrity Toys is doing this kind of thing, needless to say, out of necessity and everything going on. The pandemic, unfortunately, just doesn't want to end. So they also addressed, we'll get into that as well, whether or not there would be in-person or virtual next year. We'll get to that. It was really interesting too, because at a certain point, they sent us an email asking us because of all these shipping delays, which we've been talking about that already on this channel. One of our Toy Insider event videos with the Holiday of Play, we talked a lot about how much the shipping delays and product shortages are impacting, you know, just the toy industry as a whole, and Integrity Toys is no exception. And so they were very transparent. They sent out an email saying like, hey, you guys aren't going to get your dolls for upwards of like a month or more after the actual convention dates. And so they asked us to vote if we wanted the W Club members to vote if we wanted to maintain, like, preserve dates.
Just a clarification, they didn't ask W Club members, they asked the attendees. So they weren't, they asked the attendees if they wanted to delay the actual convention.
To switch the dates to, like, so basically you'd experience the convention and then get your dolls shortly after, or you experience the convention and you have to wait a while for your dolls.
They said mid-January is when they're hoping everything would arrive, but, you know, given the fact that they haven't arrived yet, you know, doesn't make me super confident that we are going to get these dolls anytime soon. For me, it's not all about the dolls, it's about the experience. I'd rather have experienced the 2021 convention in 2021.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we'd already made our plans and just everything for it, so it's like, and it came so shortly, like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Like before the convention was supposed to happen, and it's like, you know, I'm sure people might have already taken time off work because one of the convention days is a weekday, and so it's just, it's like, no.
It's a little late. Yeah, and another issue was the fact that it was a slow rollout of information. Like, we didn't really get any convention information until later in the year than we usually do, and then part 1 of the convention packet about the information came out later. Same thing with part 2. And then the fact that they had this survey for the convention attendees, but they didn't survey the people in the W Club event who had those W Club event tickets. Because those people, they also took days off too. So the fact that they didn't include those people in, like, the discussion was kind of weird. And they were very hush-hush about that portion of it. So it was a mess, and I don't completely blame them. I think they were waiting so far to make sure that the items actually show up that they kind of kept delaying these emails to us, and eventually they had to.
We'll jump into the dolls in just 1 second, because we do actually have one very small batch of products on hand to actually kind of show and discuss with you guys real quick.
This is actually really sweet of Integrity Toys, because there's a certain aspect of this I don't think collectors realize. So Max, let's show the stuff first.
Yes. So, prior to convention happening, Integrity Toys was prompting all the convention attendees, like, hey, give us, you know, confirm your mailing address by this date because we want to send you a convention letter. That was all it said. That was literally the only information. It just said, we want to send you a convention letter. So it's like, that led me to believe, and probably some others, like, oh, it's some written thing. But it was actually like a package of swag. We received a super cute little metallic Obsession carrying bag that says the 2021 Integrity Toys virtual convention, and this is cute. It reminds me of the was the last bag we got for Live from Fashion Week, or did we get a bag?
We did get a bag if you bought the whole Style Lab last year, because I got a bag.
So only if you bought the whole Style Lab. But yeah, this was sent to everyone who provided their address and to receive this letter.
And the sweet thing is, you know, they didn't charge us shipping at all for these. These came free. So I think us on the West Coast, these probably won't cost too much to ship out. It's still probably like $10. But like, they have to ship these internationally, and I understand international collectors do have to submit like a value on the items they receive. So there was that aspect where they had to pay out of pocket, but IT also handled the initial shipping price for these. So I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, and it also came with what we're wearing, which it actually came with a really cute glittery Obsession lanyard and badge, which I thought it was cute. Like, even though it's not an in-person convention, we still have little badges. Very adorable. And there was also just a simple printout of the schedule, which is still handy to have. Yeah, so you can just see, you know, a list of all the events and what to expect for the convention. And then I think the swag item that was most talked about was a adorable little metallic purple compartment with a really cute little like diamond monogram on it.
And this is like a preview of what the packaging for the dolls will
we
look.
learned today this was actually like a teaser of the packaging, which is cool. So yeah, you open it up and it's really cute. It's like a tiny little, it's structured kind of like an eyeshadow palette, and there's a real mirror inside, and it came with a super cute little set of makeup accessories. There's like a little brush and I think a lipstick. And is there a palette or compact? There's a compact.
It looks like a palette, a makeup palette in there.
Yeah.
And a couple brushes.
Yeah, really cute. So a whole bunch of accessories. And the thing that people were talking about quite a bit was it did also come with a little pair of hands. But the really interesting thing about the hand swaps is they made it like a blind box.
Yes. So there's two options of hands that you could get. There is the short nail manicures hands that are an FR, and then there is I think those are Nubian skin tone long manicured fingernails. It depends on what kind of collector you are. You might prefer one of the other, so you might end up getting one that you don't like, or you have a doll that doesn't fit that, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, it was just a cute little swag box, and yeah, it was sent to us for free with no additional purchase.
Free. It's for free.
No additional purchase.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so let's just jump straight into the dolls. So, of course, the very first event was the welcome event, and it was pretty much same deal as last year.
Some of the things that was kind of interesting that Carol and Alon mentioned was they actually closed down the W Club briefly during this presentation, so nothing will leak. So I don't know if you caught that. They closed the forum down.
I did not catch that.
They closed the forum down because they didn't want anything to leak. So there was a long period where they were talking just about disclaimers. Where like, don't record this.
God, yeah.
It was particularly long this time. Essentially, don't record this. Don't share this information. Make sure that if you don't like something, don't ruin it for other people who do like this particular doll or this design. After all that, they did bring in a special guest. They brought in Mark. Tinkley. I love Mark. When Mark comes on, he's very energetic. He's very passionate.
Very animated.
Yes.
Yeah.
All they said was they're unveiling the convention collection, the sales room exclusive. So we're like, oh, maybe he's introducing the sales room exclusive. Maybe there's a new fantasy or Misaki. I was like, ooh, is Misaki showing up? But he came on to talk about the welcome doll, which he designed.
Yes. So the welcome doll, which is actually a gift set, gasp, the first welcome doll gift set since Sweet Dreams Nausea from the Fashion Fairy Tale convention, a Doll's Life Vanessa pairing. And it's Vanessa 3.0.
Yeah, he mentioned his inspiration coming from watching YouTube videos and people living out like kind of their dream and dolly world.
Living as a doll, though, which is really funny because when he said that, I was like, the association I make with that are like like the people who get a bunch of like cosmetic procedures to like look like dolls and that kind of thing. And what's interesting is, yeah, she is a new fantasy doll. So she has the new fantasy like label and I think I guess they're all gonna have convention packaging.
Yes.
Yeah, but so she's part of New Fantasy, and she comes essentially with 3 different looks that you can very much mix and match. There's even like examples of mix and match options in the promos. I have to say, I was surprised to see Vanessa as the welcome doll. I think I'm definitely liking the gown the most. It's a really cute, almost like soft, I don't really want to say orange, but kind of like a golden.
Well, he described it as a pink gold.
It's
like gold,
maybe rose gold-ish. It's not quite that.
He said it was gold with like pink accents to it, like maybe the glitter is pink.
Yeah, so it's pretty cute, and I'm wanting to say that the little brooch on her is a reprint.
Oh, for sure. I think it's the same one as the 10th anniversary Poppy, the black outfit. She has like a little brooch.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we've seen before.
It's very familiar. I commend them for doing this, and I hope they keep doing it. I love these like luxurious like welcome gift sets, because obviously, yeah, the welcome dolls come at no additional cost, you know, to your convention package price. So this feels like going above and beyond. And yeah, we get fewer dolls this year, so
yeah.
so
I mean, yeah,
so I'm glad they did this.
Yeah.
I don't love all of the fashion pieces.
I'm not a huge fan of like turtlenecks. It's just a lot going on up top.
So yeah, I mean, some of these I think are going to be a bit of an acquired taste, but I mean, that's kind of part of the beauty of gift sets. If you're not a huge fan of one look, you have a whole bunch of alternatives, and she's really giving, you know, she who shall not be named in the pink faux fur coat.
I mean, she has long blonde hair, you know, blue eyes, pink lips.
Oh, her hair is crimped.
Yeah,
we don't like. The last crimped hair, like, there's maybe there have been more, but the main last one in recent history that I remember was the newspaper twins.
Lilith? It was Lilith. We reviewed her.
We did review her, and her hair was super, like, crimped.
Yeah.
It was very, very crimped. Yeah, this almost looks like less crimped than that.
It looks like it was braided and unbraided. It has kind of like that wave.
Yes. What's really cute about her, too, is she has an adorable purse, and Mark mentioned that the purse can pair well with the upgrade luggage set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
she comes with a lot of fun accessory, you know, 2 pairs of earrings, you know, she has 3 pairs of earrings. Wow.
She has a lot of stuff.
Dang,
yeah.
3 pairs of earrings, you know, like a stud statement ring.
Mm-hmm. The shoes are cute.
The chain piece can double as a belt or a necklace.
So
wow,
very
3
versatile.
pairs of shoes.
This gift set really encourages you to like mix and match.
Yeah.
And what I like is the looks are all very different.
Yeah.
She was cute. You know, let us know what y'all think of her.
So the next thing they revealed was the sales room exclusive, and this year there's only 1. That's it. Usually there's at least 3 or 4 to help, you know, expand the collection out. Usually it's from Poppy Parker or some of like those newer IT brands like Meteor and Monarchs. But this year there's only 1, and she is a East 59th doll. Her edition size is pretty small, 700, and boy, did me and Max were like
Stunned.
Yeah,
so yeah, her edition size is 700, so she's going to be the only doll in the convention who is a lottery doll. So you have to enter the lottery.
She's the only doll of edition size smaller than the convention size.
I wasn't too concerned about like obviously, because I just from a quantity perspective and edition sizes and stuff, you know, the East 59th collections tend to be smaller than like Poppy Parker and New Face. But when this doll was revealed, I was like, okay, this was a wild choice, and I think that she will have popularity outside of just people who like collect East 59th. This is Black Ice Victoire Rue.
She's so edgy. It's like you don't think East 59th to be edgy. They're more classic.
No.
You know, old glam.
Yes, and my knee-jerk reaction, because I didn't know like the direct inspiration at the time, like my knee-jerk reaction, I was like, okay, this is giving like American Horror Story, Rubber Man meets Dangerous Woman era Ariana Grande, like bunny mask. And so I personally learned of the inspiration. Shout out to Idolization Andrew on Instagram. It is inspired by 1995 Mugler. So it's either Mugler or Mugler, and yeah, you can totally see the inspiration there. So it was the Mugler Fall 1995 Couture collection. So something about the initial inspiration is it would have been interesting if they did what looks like those embroidered like tights or mesh or
maybe
sort of,
like
that would have been cool
look.
instead of just the all like really rubbery.
Well, I think what Chris did, he flipped it. So you know how the coat is more of a latex material?
Oh, that's true. He did switch it, yeah.
And then the lace part is actually the coat. So he flipped it.
I think she's really fun. I think she's super fun. The traditional East 59th collectors are going to be clutching their pearls.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's so funny because, like, you know, I know we talked about in the past, just between me and you, that the Victoire sculpt is very beautiful. But, you know, you personally don't bond with that era, the 50s era, quite as much as
Not
I
usually.
do.
I mean...
You do own quite a few of them.
What was it? Something Dream. Well, the really interesting thing about Victoire is, isn't she the one, Late Night Dream? So, isn't Victoire the character where she has these, like, radically different screenings? Because I think earlier on I mentioned to Sang, I was like, that's not the same sculpt. What are you talking about? She has these really different screenings, and we reviewed...
She has a little sister who used the same sculpt, too.
Yes. This one, I think, is just so much fun. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan, and there are some beautiful photos.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like the designers and the photographers felt inspired by her. There's initial photography are very high-end, like magazine fashion photos.
Yeah, I really like her.
Yes.
She was one of my favorites of today's reveals.
Yeah. And she comes with a very interesting mask. Alana was talking about how he was able to keep the mask on by having a magnetic attachment to the earring. So it attaches to the earring to hold it up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, she's great. I think there's a possibility she might be a little polarizing.
Good, more for me.
Yeah, but as she's a lottery doll, so we're going to see how it goes. We don't know the results of the lottery yet. But, the funny thing, too, though, is we often say that sometimes the most daring, like, shocking doll of the convention ends up, like, the most popular, and, like, I might want to give that to Victoire out of all of today's reveals.
Yeah.
That, because we talked about how 24K Erin and London Show Naja and stuff like that just steal the show and end up like the Grail. This Victoire's, I'm going to be interested.
It's usually New Face, but we'll get to New Face. Yeah. So that was the only sales room exclusive. Again, it was a lottery opportunity, so Max and I entered, and we're still waiting to hear back from them. All right, so the convention collection is something they do every year, and we always cover it. But this year, there's only 5 dolls. Usually there's 6 dolls, but they condense it down just to streamline everything. So there's 2 FR dolls and 2 New Face dolls and 1 Poppy Parker doll. Mm-hmm. So the first doll they unveiled was Natalya Fatale, and she is called Chain of Command. All these dolls are going to be an edition size of 1300. This is huge. This is like mainline size. So the inspiration for the FR line for the convention is military.
Which I'm getting more like flight attendant from this, but I guess I can see a loose military inspiration. So I'm gonna say, in general, Natalya is not my favorite. Do I even have one that I like kept and still have? I don't know if I do.
What about that boudoir one?
Oh, I do have Boudoir, Natalya. But even her, I don't know, she's like my relationship with Natalya is contentious. That skull.
I love her makeup. Check out those eyes. Look at this.
You know what? I'm kind of referring to her as a bit of a grower, which is kind of a recurring theme for this convention. But I wasn't really sure how I felt about her at first, but she's kind of growing on me. You know what? Really, it's just the year of Britney's toxic era just coming back and being a thing. We have it in LL Surprise OMGs, and we've got a kind of a little thing in IT as well, because that's kind of what this is giving me. Is it just reminds me a little bit of like sexy flight attendant. I do like the color palette. It's like a powdery blue, which again, well, the last doll was very, very vampy and dark, but there's a lot of pastel in this convention.
You know what, Max? Last year you were complaining about all black dolls. Or black outfit dolls.
I was not complaining about all black dolls. You edit that out. I will not be canceled. But
last year last year we were complaining about completely black fashions.
Yes, I was.
Yes, so
it was a very monochrome convention last year. No, I mean I love pastels. I think they're great. It's not what I was expecting based on the theme and
the packaging and theme were all like dark, deep purple, and the theme was obsession. And a lot of these dolls are very light in color.
Yes, we'll get to that. Yes. There's more to come.
But so seems like she's inspired by the McQueen two-tone suit. So definitely see that. Even some of the accessories kind of match up too.
We just saw that recently. Who wore
it? Was a ring. It was a ring.
Is it a ring?
No, it was an earring. You're right.
It was earrings.
The one I
just reviewed them
Elise.
was Elise. Okay,
Elise?
So she has a brooch that looks pretty much identical to Bijou Elise's earrings. Her purse is kind of cute.
Yeah.
They've used these. God, these earrings. They have reused these earrings so many times, like 1,000 times. The Eden or Lilith we just talked about had those earrings.
The spiky earrings, yeah.
Yes, they've reused those several times.
Yeah. I do like her shoes. Again, I think those are also reprints too. With the spike heels.
Oh yeah, oh my god, you had these. Definitely seen those before.
I love her makeup. I thought her makeup was really pretty. It kind of has this, like, you know, it matches her outfit, but also has the kind of silver liner on the eyes with the waterline. I think she's very gorgeous. I'm indifferent to Natalya. I have a few Natalyas, but it's nice to see her in this skin tone. Oh, by the way, FR dolls are going to be $180, so they are pretty pricey this year. Yeah.
In the presentation.
So it's so much more expensive.
Lord. Oh, and honey, that is...
The one reoccurring thing I noticed when I was looking through all these stuff when they were being unveiled, I was like, does she come with a second outfit? Like, is there something extra you're getting, like a shawl or something? It does seem like you're not getting quite as much fashion.
Yeah, that's crazy. So next, you know, of course, Agnes. We knew there was going to be an Agnes. We heard the name ahead of time. Vendetta, Agnes Van Weiss.
Once again, it's military styling, so there's nods to that. They were making some story how she's attending a funeral. She does kind of look like she's attending a funeral. I would not dare wear red to her funeral, but, you know, she has a vendetta.
She wants to be a Black Widow.
Yes.
Oh, I guess that's why they call it that. Okay. That makes more sense. So I think one of the most striking parts of this outfit is how it looks from the back. Like the backless, you know, strap is really nice. They have a nice image in the promos showing that off.
When I first saw her, I really appreciate, she kind of looked like old school glam, like old Hollywood films, just a homage to older fashion royalty dolls. I think Max was going to bring up the fact that her gloves are so unique. They're kind of, they're lacy here at the like opera length gloves, but are attached via like a ribbon around it.
So it is attached.
Yes.
Okay, so these gloves are attached. Interesting.
So they're fingerless kind of gloves that kind of attach via like a
it's almost more just like a sleeve because it kind of stops like really even before like her knuckles. Yeah, she's a lot of red. We had a poppy that was like entirely red. Style Lab. No, in the Style Lab.
Cherry pop or cherry something
like that. Yeah, where it was just like red earthing, and I think you have to be a big fan of red to really get into this.
I'm concerned about staining. That's all.
Yeah,
staining is with red, so you get staining.
Her shoes though.
Her shoes are really pretty.
Her shoes are gorgeous. Yeah, the shoes are lovely. This is a really intricate design for just like heels.
I heard they mentioned it was like 3D printed, or not 3D printed, or like it was computer generated.
I'm going to be very curious to see how that looks in person.
Yeah.
That looks really pretty. And she has a veil, and she's a blonde Agnes. We don't get blonde Agnes.
We had Malibu Sky Agnes recently, who's blonde, but this is kind of more of a platinum.
This
blonde.
is very different. She has blonde eyebrows as well. Maybe that's what's throwing me off so much. I was asking Sang, I was like, is this like a different screening? Like this is a very different looking Agnes, like in the face to me.
Well, I think someone made a comparison with the Malibu Sky Agnes. It's the same screening, but what they did again is lighter makeup, so lighter eyebrows, lighter eyeshadow. So she looks different in that aspect, but it's the same screening that Agnes tends to like work this nowadays. Yeah.
So getting into New Face.
So the inspiration for New Face this convention is sports. Does it say? Was it sports? What did you say sports?
Sports go sports.
Sports go sports.
Athletics. Yeah, which I was not expecting in the slightest.
You know, so the first song we're going to talk about is Varsity Alejandra Luna. And when that name first popped up, I was expecting maybe kind of like a cheerleader kind of look to her with like a
varsity jacket.
Yeah. But this doll ended up being more of the inspiration is baseball.
When I got more information on the theme, I wasn't expecting to like her. I don't like sporty, athletic dolls in general. I actually think she's really fun, and I would really like to see her in person. I especially think those little thigh-high boots that almost look like they're like a high-fashion, like
knee pads
swirl of athletic sneakers, but as like high-fashion thigh-high boots, which is kind of cool. There's like all these little slits and openings, which I really like, and they also said, thankfully, it opens and closes using a zipper, so you don't need to actually like tie all those little pieces on. And she's wearing just like a cute little bra top, and she's kind of like a golden blonde. So this is a very different, what I appreciate, it's a very different Alejandra from her debut release, which we reviewed, Billion Dollar Baddie. The jacket she's wearing looks pretty cute. It looks like it's like kind of a varsity jacket.
It's a baseball jacket.
Yeah.
It's a baseball jacket, so it's different cut, but it's...
On the back? Do they show the back?
I don't know.
There's like, that's like the thing for sporty jackets, is there's always like a print on the back.
Maybe it's the same number as her hat. 82.
Maybe
it says 82 on the back.
I actually do really like her little, it's almost like a netting, like a mesh kind of white. It's really cute. I think you could kind of maybe like mix and match that. So I like her.
Yeah,
and
she's
she
cute.
has flat feet.
Yes, so all the new face dolls that we've seen today are, well, yeah, all of them, right? Well, all the main ones have alternate legs. Yeah, Alejandra comes with a second pair of legs that are the ankle articulation. And she's $175, so she's, again, very, very pricey, but she does come with a second pair of legs, which is, you can calculate that into the price.
So before the next one was unveiled, we were told the inspiration, which the inspiration was just wild. Like, what? Like, I was like the confused lady gif. So Carol told us that Jessie was inspired by a combination of motocross meets ballet. Two things that do not go together in the slightest. So, this is On Point Violain Perrin. It's really unique, and it was not what I was expecting. I think that's the main, I'm not really getting athletic theme from this, which I mean that doesn't necessarily matter to me, but this is, I think it's a pretty cute outfit.
I love the pastel look.
Yes.
It's
again,
very sheer.
Very pastel.
Super
powdery
sheer.
Baby pink.
Yes.
Yeah. Something that's really fascinating about the shoes is, her name is On Point, and obviously that's the ballet pose of, balancing on your tiptoes. I'm really curious if the shoes will really look like
so
that
one of the
in
things
person.
that they mention is these are special shoes where they are made for not the high heel shoes but for the ankle heels. So the ankle heels are going to be bent even further so they can get to the point. So
they're not difficult to put on.
But she does come with a pair of high heel feet too, but they won't fit these shoes. Those are mainly for redressing purposes.
I do also like her little shirt.
It's a crop top shirt.
Crop top. It's very loose, blousey, but it's, well, that's probably because underneath it's very risque. It's just
a buckle
bra. A buckled bra, yeah. I don't know if I feel like this doll pairs with this outfit.
Just stick everything on Poppy.
Yeah, yes, I think Poppy would rock this outfit. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, once again, this maybe it's kind of a recurring theme in this convention too, a lot of mixing and matching opportunities.
I would put Eden in it. I think something with I think Violain has a bit more of a stern face. Maybe
mature, kind of stoic, vibe to her.
But her hair is really cute. It's very Princess Leia look to it.
Yeah.
It's cute. I think of the dolls so far, I think I like the styling and outfit of this one the best. I don't know, don't kill me, but I don't know if I like Violain as much, but I think everything else is very pretty.
I loved Counterculture Violain, and her color variant, and I think that maybe allowed me to fall into a mindset of thinking I really liked her as a character. But the past couple that have come out, I'm much more mixed on.
This is probably a very soft looking Violain, which kind of mirrors the Essentials version. But she's cute.
Yeah, super cute outfit, for sure. So let's talk about Miss Poppy Parker. We knew that her name was Silver Soiree ahead of time.
We did. And you know what huge collectors of Poppy Parker we are. So when they unveiled her, I think I can say we were both just whelmed. Yes, we were just whelmed. It's a very pretty doll, but I think there's a lot of elements that seems like repeats
Familiar.
Familiar.
Very, like...
Her outfit reminds me of Young Romantic Poppy Parker, even with like the beaded top and kind of that large poof out.
There was just, it's a samey, I think, kind of poppy. We've gotten a kabillion blonde poppies. We even not too long ago got, a platinum blonde, I don't know if I want to say Tokyo Twilight has like...
But this screening and this
like
hairstyle is very familiar if you collect like the Bonbon collection. It's the year before I think we started collecting. There was a poppy that had a very similar screening with similar platinum blonde hair. She did not wow me. I'm usually very excited to see the convention collection poppies because they're usually really gorgeous.
There's a lot more poppies to come.
Oh, there will be.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
There's so many more poppies.
I'm sure we will be wowed.
Tomorrow is PoppyCon.
Yes.
Yeah.
For her, I think I'm getting her, but I don't think she's going to be like, wow, this is a defining moment for the collection.
Yeah. So, I have to say though, this is another one that I think she's a bit of a grower for me. I do think that, I'm a fan of Periwinkle. I think like the veil is kind of cute, and it is, the screening is a bit striking because it's just so pastel. It's very, very light.
What did Mark say what the outfit's called? Like the skirt's called?
Oh, the skirt is called a paper sack waist. Was that this Poppy? That was for Poppy? Yeah. He said it was a paper sack waist.
Which I guess is kind of an accurate description.
Which is funny because Young Romantic, people kept saying looked very like really baggy on her. I actually grew to like love Young Romantic.
Did you love her?
No.
Okay, then you don't really love her.
I don't think I ever did. But
yes, I don't know. I have to see it in person. It's kind of hard to tell. Some of these photos don't really translate as well for me.
That was...
Poppy is 160.
So that was it for the welcome event. And then it was many hours later. It was about, it was 5 p.m. our time when the 2021 W Club event. Okay guys, so a little bit of a costume change because it's a new day. We weren't able to finish filming last night.
Yes, food arrived and then things got a little crazy.
Yeah, but we're gonna continue. So the final event of day one of the convention was the W Club event, which was once again New Face themed.
It was a W Club membership opportunity where if you're in the W Club, you can purchase a ticket to this event and attend it. It's a separate event that's an additional fee that even if you did not get into the main convention, you can attend this one. Some people call it as a constellation ticket, and they were very upfront with this event saying that it's New Face themed. No, last year was a combination of New Face and FR. This year, strictly New Face. And the point of this event was that it is in an optional event where Carol will interview the design team and get a little bit more information from them about upcoming releases and how they got into the company and just current doll situations going on.
I took a few notes of kind of some key things that were touched on. For one thing, Jesse Ayala did mention that he's working on more new characters, and
specifically that came about because someone asked if there are going to be more Asian characters being introduced in FR and New Face, and Jesse mentioned that he's working on new characters, but he doesn't know when those will be out. Alejandra and Isabella took several years to produce, so we might not see these characters for a while.
Yeah, and a question, because there was kind of like a little bit of a Q&A of, just folks watching were asking questions and the designers were responding, and one of the questions posed was like, oh, would you guys ever do like New Face and FR combined? Which I think the concept of that was kind of cool, kind of like a blending of the lines. I should preface, like, I don't really follow like the storylines of the lines very much. I know there's certain people and characters that just like it wouldn't make sense or they're not in the same timeline or whatever. Probably more so for like Poppy, but New Face is pretty modern. They kind of gave like a non-answer to that. They didn't really. They kind of just said they're like, well, every line has like its unique respective traits and fashion.
Well, that was two questions. The first question was, would you combine FR and New Face? But it was directed towards Jesse because he's handling both New Face and FR.
And he did an FR line that felt like a New Face.
Yeah, well, his whole response
Future,
was well, he kind of blends them together, you know. He doesn't, from the sound of it, he didn't think that you need to have like a direct connection between the two lines, but he said like the designs can be interchangeable. He's not very like married to like F4 has to be this and New Face has to be this.
Yeah, and also the question was posed, would we see FR Black or Nubian skin tones on the twins, Eden and Lilith? And Jesse Ayala's response to that was pretty interesting. He said, you might, and he said, you might sooner than you think. So there might be some dark skin toned twins on the way, which will be cool because as we'll get to that in day 2, the characters who didn't appear. And I think the biggest question that was addressed, they were posed the question, you know, are you guys going to do a live in-person convention next year in 2022? And they gave the exact same response that I knew they would probably have to give. You know, they pretty much just said that they're gonna have to wait and see. They just don't know because needless to say, the pandemic is not over. So I don't know. The rate things are going, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's another virtual convention next year. Still sticking by what we've said before on this channel, that I think it would be really cool if they're able, of course, if it's, you know, following all the guidelines that they need to follow. But I think if they're able to do kind of a half and half experience, like for folks who just wouldn't be comfortable going in the event that it's logistically possible for them, you know, to do it. Yeah, I just think it would be kind of cool to have an option for, you know, like an in-person event and an absentee option just for folks who can't make it in person or don't feel comfortable going in person. But yeah, of course, the post-2020 world is a wild one, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, they said they'll probably revisit again early next year to see how things are going, but you never know. There's the second portion of the event that Carol asked each designer and Alon if there was anything they want collectors to know that happens behind the scene, which was very fascinating to listen to. I think there were some collectors who felt like the designers were more, instead of just giving behind the scene tidbits, they were more voicing some of their grievances. For example, there's a lot of conversation with like fantasy hair and this hair fibers that some of these new dolls have. David brought up that he had a sample of all the saran hair that could be picked out currently, and he pulled out this little booklet, which kind of looks like kind of the booklet you get at a salon where you can choose the color you want your your hair to. But he showed the saran one, which had like maybe like less than a dozen different hair colors you can choose in the saran material, and they're all really natural hair colors, you know, blonde to like dark black. Then he showed off like the nylon side, and the nylon side had like quadruple that amount, so it was like fold out and out. He just wanted collectors to know that saran was kind of the preferred choice, but it seems like the saran company was having issues creating more different colors currently. We don't really know. The pandemic is really weird, but they have more options if they went with nylon hair.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were kind of set up into having, you know, I mean, because that was pretty much the prompt. Like Carol was going around asking them, like, what's something you wish collectors knew, you know, about our processes or your process that, like, you know, they might not. And yeah, I think it would have been better if there was maybe like a variety of different questions instead of just asking all the designers that question to kind of like leading them to like complain about things or whatever, which is fine, you know. I mean, I think
collectors, especially as we get more members into the club, there are more concerns and voices in the club. There has been a huge discussion on like, oh, like IT is going with like cheaper hair or hair that doesn't look natural or hair it's not quite as versatile. David addressed that portion of it, and I think it's very fascinating to realize, hey, like saran might be aesthetically more pleasing, maybe it's more like silkier, but nylon has so many more options. Yeah. And they said nylon's really nice because you can actually, it does keep a shape. You can mold it into different designs better. Yeah, and the saran option, there were no fantasy colors like at all. Yeah. It was all very like natural tones and stuff like that. Yeah, so obviously, it's like they want to go with
the option that has way more options. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing to consider too, that just there's certain things that collectors might want that isn't logistically possible on the business side. Yeah, just kind of some interesting insight there. So, jumping straight into the final 2 dolls of day 1 that were revealed at the W Club event. So, the centerpiece was Reyna. You know, after I was complaining about Reyna being missing last year, girl.
Jesse heard you.
He did. Reyna has just been omnipresent recently, and so we got MVP Reyna Amadi.
Well, Jesse said all the dolls at the conventions were based on sportswear.
All of his new face dolls
Yes.
were, that their obsession was like athletics.
I missed the portion when she was first unveiled that it was Reyna. I thought it was Giselle because she had the glasses on and you couldn't really see her face. Because Giselle has been missing for a little while.
Yeah, she has.
I think there's aspects of her, it's pretty. I love the screening and I love the hairstyle, which is something they haven't done before, that particular hairstyle.
Yeah, and it's almost somewhat like little Usagi, Sailor Moon, pigtails kind of, which is cute. So I do like the doll. I like the screening. I like the hair. This outfit is just... It's very, very clear that the inspiration is football. I mean, it's kind of cute to have those little pants. I mean, is that like a bodysuit underneath it, or is it just a shirt?
It's
like
a bodysuit. I'm pretty sure it's a bodysuit. So it looks like there's a bodysuit underneath, and it reminds me of Skims. Which I know. I feel like Jesse is a big fan of Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like it Skims underneath, so it's probably like a bodysuit. And then there's football pants over it. And I think the football pants might work. I don't think it's badly designed, but orange and
tan
hot
and
pink,
brown, and
I don't think it works well together.
No.
Yeah. She's just so dreary looking to me.
Yeah, and she also has this, I believe you would call this a vest. Essentially, it's almost kind of like a vest because it's sleeveless. It looks like a nice material, but the way it sits on her body when you put it over her, it's just a shapeless mess.
Well, there is definitely a shape to it because of the shoulder pads. I know it's like football inspired, like the huge shoulder pads, but I don't think it looks good on her. I don't think it's very flattering.
No.
And I think the fact that she has flat feet with those little flat heels. The whole outfit together is not very flattering.
No. Yeah, I mean, let us know how you guys feel about her. I mean, I love Reyna, but it's a no for me.
It's a hard pill to swallow because she is $175. So she's very pricey, and I feel like she's not giving you bang for your buck.
Yeah. The giveaway doll was Dominique, who we also haven't seen in a while. So we got Adrenaline Rush Dominique Makeda as the giveaway doll.
To echo what Jesse said about the doll, is he wanted giveaway dolls or souvenir dolls to be not something you expect. He was implying that, he wants to be a little bit more risky with the souvenir dolls, and oh boy, is she a risky doll.
Yes.
Yeah, design-wise.
Yeah, so once again, this is a very sporty, and I wanted to say, avant-garde, futuristic look. I think
it's
this doll...
again.
Yes, I think this doll is going to be extremely polarizing. I think most people are going to either love her because she is very unique, very striking. She has flocked hair. She does have kind of a cool screening. I do like Dominique. Yeah, she has this really defined eyeliner. Maybe that's eyeliner. Yeah, the white eyeliner. I do think the drip earrings are cool. The outfit is, it's just really out there, and it crops really high, so you see a lot of her midriff. Yeah, she's just really loud. Yeah, once again, the sporty theme, it's something I had mentioned to Sang, is this whole obsession with sports thing, especially because there's so many new face dolls in the convention. This recurring theme of sports, obsession with athletics and sports. I was like, I just think for Integrity Toys, core audience and just in general, I don't think this should have been a convention theme. I think this should have been its own line that just available to everyone or to W Club members if they want to purchase it. I think this was a bit of a miss, making this theme repeated for convention dolls.
Yeah, I think there's an expectation with convention dolls being a little bit more glam, a little more luxe.
And detailed, and I mean, they don't necessarily have to be Lux Life decked out, but I think athletics, just by nature, it's kind of similar to why I don't tend to love most like beach swimsuit dolls. I don't know, you just tend to assume that with that theme, it's likelier to be a lot of duller color palettes, less detail, less clothing, less just everything. Yeah, this is not what I want from convention
Definitely
dolls.
giving me Claudine from Monster High.
Yes, with the neon green and that's the thing, it's a really bold like color palette. You know what though, I could also imagine also a lot of people were complaining that up to this point the convention dolls were like really lacking in diversity, and she is in the Nubian skin tone. I think the doll is pretty striking. But
I think she's a beautiful doll. I think if you put her in a different outfit, I think she'd be very striking.
yeah.
The sportswear, I don't know if I would consider that something I would personally have her wear, or any other doll wear. If Jesse was going for like risk-taking, different, that's totally fine. He nailed it. But I think as a souvenir doll, I think people would prefer maybe something that fans like. This event has it was like 2,700 attendees. So a good chunk of people are receiving her. I think maybe it would be better to choose a popular sculpt and take more of the risk-taking for the centerpiece doll. This event is $155, so it's not cheap. It's great to hear from the designers, but I think a lot of people going into this event is expecting like a nice doll.
Yeah.
And I don't think she is a nice doll. I don't think most collectors who got into New Face, especially we have so many new collectors this year, Dominique would be the first choice people are going to be expecting.
It was a risky move across the board. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on the First Days dolls and all the events. That pretty much concludes our coverage of day 1. So there's going to be a separate video for our coverage of day 2.
So day 2 is going to be this Poppy luncheon event, as well as the Style Lab, and then the final gala, which has 2 dolls, the centerpiece, and the final souvenir doll. So we'll be back with that, so it's going to be Poppy Day, so I'm really excited for that.
Alright, so make sure to hit subscribe and that like button if you haven't. Turn on notifications if you want to know right when part 2 goes live. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.